Hello everybody, hope they are good. I'm testing something a bit different here, something new. Don't worry, the usual daily Bitcoin updates are not going anywhere. That is still, of course, going to be the main content of this channel. But as well as those type of videos, then I'm thinking about starting this new section in the YouTube channel. And it's to talk about the news announcements that surround the crypto market. And of course, the thing that now everybody's talking about, because we're seeing loads of news about this, is the Bitcoin Spot ETF. And I would like to make a video about this. So anybody that is not familiar with what an ETF is and the implications and how it works, then maybe this video can help them to understand what it actually is. Okay, so the first question is, what is a Bitcoin ETF? And to answer this question, first we have to talk about how we buy Bitcoin right now. So to buy Bitcoin now, first you have to open an account in an exchange. So you have to trust an exchange. Then it gives you a wallet address, you have to deposit some money, and then you can buy Bitcoin in a spot through the app or through the website. So it's a bit complex, and it sets a barrier for new potential buyers or investors. So yes, it's kind of a problem. Now, through a Bitcoin ETF, you wouldn't have to do all of this. Imagine if you could buy or you could invest in Bitcoin through a share, okay, like in the stock market. Because in the stock market, if you buy a share, then you're buying a share of a company. But through an ETF, you can invest in assets or an index. So for example, right now we have the ETFs of, I don't know, gold, oil. So imagine if you had an ETF of Bitcoin and you wouldn't have to do all of this of opening an account in an exchange, depositing some money, buy through the exchange. Imagine if you could just literally go to the stock market and invest in Bitcoin. Okay, imagine how many new investors and new buyers would come. Okay, that would be a great advantage, and that would pump the Bitcoin market cap. Okay, that's a fact. But now you have to understand the difference between a Bitcoin spot ETF and a Bitcoin futures ETF. In a Bitcoin spot ETF, the asset manager will have to hold as much Bitcoin as the ETF is worth, and that's going to trigger a new wave of institutional holding of Bitcoin. That means that asset managers such as BlackRock, Fidelity, that are trying to issue this Bitcoin spot ETF are going to have to buy and hold Bitcoin. Of course, this is something positive and it's something bullish, but in my opinion, in the long term, and by long term, I mean when these ETFs get approved and you start to see BlackRock, Fidelity, Invesco starting to pick up Bitcoin and holding, so then the crypto market cap can increase. Some experts are already saying that if the actual crypto market cap is around $1 trillion, then it can go to $3-4 trillion with this ETF news. So we'll see what happens. Of course, these are only predictions that some journalists or experts are making. We don't really know the reach it's going to have, but for sure, it looks positive. Okay, in the long term. And I say long term because if you were one of these asset managers, then let me ask you a question: when would you like to buy Bitcoin? And I think that the answer would be, well, when it's cheaper. Okay, when it's cheap. And right now Bitcoin is at 27K. So I don't know. I think it would make more sense to see Bitcoin dumping first. I'm not telling you new lows, okay? But why not 20K, 19K, 18K? Why not, okay? And then that's where these asset managers or these ETF providers can pick up Bitcoin cheap and they can hold it for the next bull run, okay? And then you're gonna have a new wave of investors and everybody's gonna make money. So that's why it makes sense to me first. It might be a bit tricksy what I'm trying to say, but I don't know. With everybody being bullish, I know that this opinion is not going to be liked. But yes, I think with this news, it would make sense to see some manipulation first, see Bitcoin going lower before they kind of start to pick up Bitcoin, and then we'll have the next bull run probably next year around summer. Okay, according to the 4-year cycle. So that's what I think at the moment. Now, what are the ETF pros and cons? Well, the pros are clear. You have more exposure because you're going to have a new wave of companies and individuals investing and buying Bitcoin. It's safer and less complex because you don't need to open an account in an exchange. You can literally do it in the stock market. And it also reduces the transaction costs, okay? Right now in the exchanges, you have to pay 2 fees. One when you open the position and one when you close the position. So, and in the stock market, you usually pay the fee once, not twice. So, of course, it reduces the transaction cost. And also, the cons are what I thought very quickly is that more regulations means less volatility. Okay, so trading might change a bit in the next few years. We'll see how it looks, what happens, but yes, it should have, in principle, less volatility after we see more regulations. Okay. And of course, you have to talk about the important news of the Grayscale win versus the SEC. These news are huge because the SEC argument to reject all these ETFs applications for the last year was that, that these ETFs are not designed to prevent fraud. And the court said that that argument is wrong, is not valid. So now the SEC have a 45 days appeal periods. So the question is, are they going to appeal or not? And I think the next question is, in my opinion, the key, and is that if the SEC is going to try to find new arguments to deny applications. Okay, I personally think that this is the most likely thing. I don't know if you guys remember, a few minutes ago I was telling you about how the Bitcoin spot ETF works. So the asset manager have to buy and hold the amount of Bitcoin that the ETF is worth, and they don't hold it. Okay, there is a third party, a custodian, that has to hold that Bitcoin. Okay, so maybe the new argument, it's about the custodian. Okay, that's what I think is likely. And then if that doesn't happen and they just approve ETFs, that's what crypto Twitter is celebrating and crypto Twitter is expecting, which I'm not sure at all. I don't think this is gonna happen. If I'm honest with you, I don't think the SEC is gonna give up now and say, okay, I'm gonna start approving ETFs. I don't think that's likely. Okay, I think they're gonna give a bit more of a fight and try to find new arguments. But if crypto Twitter and the Moon Boys are right and they start to approve ETFs right now, are they gonna approve some of them or all of them? And that takes me to the next slide here. And here are the deadlines. Okay, this picture is from @jsafe on X on Twitter. It's very interesting. I think he's a Bloomberg analyst. And these are the deadlines for the ETF issues. Okay, and you can see there that this week, on Thursday and Friday especially, we have the first deadline of some of these ETFs. So, I mean, crypto Twitter is expecting that these get approved. I tell you in advance, don't expect that at all. Okay, it's more likely again that they try to find a new argument or they appeal. But this first deadline should probably get delayed, probably to the second deadline. Then we'll see. That's in October. But I just watched this morning an interview with one of these ETF providers CEOs, and it was Bitwise, this one, Bitwise Bitcoin ETP Trust, okay? And he was saying that he's expecting, of course, the deadline to get postponed, knowing the SEC, and he's expecting an approval to take place in the next 5 to 6 months. And that would take us to 2024, maybe in the third deadline, that's in January, or even maybe in the final deadline in March, okay? So probably in January or in March, 5 to 6 months, that's when it's more likely that we start to see ETFs getting approved, if they get approved, okay? Which is the more likely because you have there some big boys like BlackRock, Fidelity, that they have some power also in the parliament. So of course, the big boys always win, right? That's what I think that ETFs are going to get approved, but not without the SEC to give some more of a fight first. And that would be to find new arguments to reject them again, okay? And maybe take us to the third deadline or so. So this is pretty much I want to tell you about this ETF news. I don't know if it was clear. I hope that it helped you to understand a bit what is going on. And I probably talk more about this in Twitter. So if you are interested about this topic, then you can go on Twitter. Not only on my Twitter, there is again, for example, JSafe. He talks about this a lot, and other analysts. So if you want more information about this, then I think X or Twitter is your place. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, guys, and I see you soon.